Welcome back to the PKN Packaging News podcast. We are live on the exhibition floor at AUSPACK 2022, and I'm joined once again by Wayne Robinson. G'day, Wayne. How are you doing?
Yeah, great. Thanks, Grant.
Cool. Welcome to the show. And can you tell us who we're chatting with and what we're going to talk about?
Yeah, we've got great news on the podcast here. I'm here with Romano Bolzon from Detpak in Adelaide, Australian company doing great things. I've just been on the booth. Welcome to the podcast, Romano.
Thanks very much, Wayne. Great to be here.
So the Detpak booth that we've just been on looks terrific. Obviously, sustainability is the key message there. What's going on the booth?
Yeah, we've got thanks for the credits for the stand. Look, it does look really good. Our marketing team's done a great job. Yeah. Sustainability is the key for that stand today. We've got a number of really transformational products for the industry to replace plastic packaging with paper packaging. So the first one is a rewind product for form, fill, and seal machines. And today we've got some pasta packaged up. Now, pasta is normally packaged in plastic, but we've got it in this lovely paper packaging. And the great thing about that is it goes on all existing machinery for our customers, so they don't need upgrades or capital investment, and they can switch over from plastic that normally gets chucked in the bin to a paper product that can go in your recycling bin and get turned into more paper packaging.
Yeah, so literally the company, all they have to do is switch the plastic roll to the paper roll and they're away, and the sealing and everything takes place on the regular machine.
Yeah, so the heat sealing is the same. So the trick to that is we've got on the inside of the paper, we've got a special coating. It's called Recycle Me coating. Yeah. And that is it's a composite product that behaves exactly like plastic does or PE does in that heat sealing. Yeah. It's got the same barrier properties as the PE. And because it coats the inside of the paper, it works like plastic does. Yeah. But when it gets into recycling, that dissolves away and it leaves 95% of the paper behind to be recycled.
Okay, fantastic. And actually, I've held that spaghetti on your booth, and it actually feels really good, like it should feel. It's great to feel that it's not plastic. Yeah, it's actually paper. And in terms of the branding for the brand owner, you think this looks really good. It's a good message from them to the consumer. Has that been developed by Detpak, or are you just importing the technology?
No, so we developed it with the parent company who, so it's a global technology. We've got some licensing for it in the regions that we operate, but we've been doing a lot of work developing with them and also developing it with customers, because that's where the rubber hits the road. You've got to get it on the production line. You've got to get it flowing down the machine, and you need the barriers that work for the product. So that's the really important bit.
Okay, yeah, well, you've obviously done a great job. And is that out in the market now, or is it in prototype stage? Where are you up to with it?
That particular one, that's in prototype stage, but there's some other products that's out in the market right now. So we developed for San Remo, another good South Australian business, noodle cups. So they've been packaging their and if you've ever had a late night or got teenagers,
we've all had late nights.
Got the 2-minute noodles out. Yeah. So they make those, and they used to make them in a styrofoam
horrible
cup.
Yeah,
really, really horrible for the environment. They've been trying to get out for a number of years, but finding something that gives them the heat retention they need, that won't burn the customer's hand, but is also, goes down their production line and recyclable. It's a very big challenge. Yeah. So we customized a cup. It sounds easy, but making it match their line was really hard. Yeah. So we've got some 3D printers, and we were 3D printing and sticking paper to it and doing tests at different stages on their production line to make it work. And so we developed a cup that can flow through production just as fast as the styrofoam cup did, has all the properties that they require in heat retention and protecting the customer. And we also created a flat rim on that, which is a new part of a cup process. So we had to work with our engineering team to build a different machine to make the flat rim so that it can be heat sealed, so the lid can get heat sealed on top on their production line. Okay, and is that something that you developed yourselves at Detpak, the flat rim? Yeah, because it's fairly complex. It looks simple, but I imagine it's a fairly complex piece of engineering, isn't it? It is. It's ultrasonic welded, and there's two parts that have to come together, and and vibrate at very high speed to form exactly the right amount of heat and exactly the right amount of pressure to make that work. So the engineering team did a great job.
And that's the San Remo noodle cup. That's out in the market now. They've replaced all their styrofoam cups with this new innovation from you guys.
Yeah, they certainly have. 35 million odd cups a year we're going to save from landfill from that one.
It must be very satisfying for you guys at Detpak.
Well, I actually enjoyed now buying my 17-year-old son 2-minute noodles when I go to the supermarket. I can, at least I know I did that.
Yeah, well, that's great. And it's obviously part of the Detpak message here at AUSPACK. And you also showed you've got some packaging, some food packaging, fresh food packaging that you're working on. What's the story with that?
Yeah, that's another one that's just hit the market. So if you ever walk down the grocery aisle in the fresh food area, you'll see a lot of plastic protecting products. Yeah. Either bundling a number of things together, like half a dozen tomatoes, or wrapping around a product to protect it, from the environment. So,
and that's what gets a really bad press, isn't it? People see that and they can't understand why it's there. So you're addressing that.
Yeah, we certainly are. So we've developed a complete range of produce packaging to take plastic out of the produce aisle, and we've just launched it. We partnered with Woolworths on that project. They've been really supportive and have driven it through a particular store. So actually not far from where you live, the Double Bay store in Sydney, it's across the bridge. But that store now, that grocery aisle is all plastic free.
Okay, fantastic. So that's actually is that a pilot test, or is that actually kind of in situ now and working?
Yeah, it's pilot because the industry needs to work out what's going to be successful for consumers, whether they like the packaging and whether it's going to appeal to them and provide what they need to get the product home and in their fridge. And then we also have to, once we know that, then we have to work out how to make sure a producer can actually pack that out at an efficient rate. Yeah. So it's a couple of stage process of this trial store, and then moving to a larger trial, and then once you do a larger trial,
you're confident that you're going to see it through.
Oh, absolutely. The feedback we had when we did a store visit the other day, the consumers in the store loved it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And in terms of the cost, Romano, is there an extra cost for Woolworths in that kind of packaging, and do they think the consumers will pay that extra cost?
There is, especially in this early stage, and so that's where the trial needs to build refinement, and it's the manual intervention in the packaging, which is the really high cost. So that's what we have to design out to make it go down make it really easy to pack, and then it'll become a lot cheaper. So Woolworths are investing heavily in this trial. To look to the future. Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Well, Romano, it's been absolutely fascinating to meet you this morning, talk about what's going on at Detpak. So great to see an Australian company innovating and really taking up the sustainable challenge.
Great. Thanks very much, Wayne. Thanks for having us. Look forward to the rest of the show.
It's been a pleasure. Thanks, Romano.
Thanks, Romano, and thanks, Wayne. And we'll be back with another live feed from the exhibition floor here at AUSPACK 2022 in the not too distant future.